Yizzo, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man. You can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. Now listen, you already know time, energy, highest forms of currency. I know they got you out here chasing the bag, chasing that money, getting to that moolah, stacking that guap, that paper, that dough. But always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time and energy are the highest forms of currency. Big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that's tapped into Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? We growing this channel organically, constant elevation. We on our way to the top. We are now approaching 30,000 subscribers. Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new subscribers, all the people that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But I carved out a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in it. Big salute to the chat, my big wrenches, everybody that's coming into the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you locked in. Make sure you locked in to G&B TV, the grownest, realest, illest on YouTube. Yeah, I said that. Ain't nobody doing it like Grown Man Business TV. We carved out a lane for the real. We carved out a lane for the real, and we are the only ones in it. Now listen, man, you see the thumbnail. You see the title to this. We're going to get right into this situation. I'm not going to stay long. I'm not going to draw this out. We're going to get right into this situation with Fat Joe. Absolutely nasty work with the things that I heard Fat Joe say about FBA culture. Now, one thing for sure, two things for certain. This been going on for a while now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just Fat Joe. You got Busta Rhymes. You got Jamaicans. You got Haitians. You got Boricuas. You got Dominican. You got all these people. You got Mexicans. You got Swifty. You know what I'm saying? Swifty Blue and Lefty Gunplay and all these different people always speaking about FBA culture, foundational Black Americans, our culture. You understand? Our genre of music, which is hip hop, we created that. And you got all these people putting their hands in the pot. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. But Fat Joe, you know, hey, listen, man, if you've been in tune with the channel, you already know. I spoke about Fat Joe a while ago. I've done content on Fat Joe and his disrespect for the hip hop culture and his disrespect for FBA, foundational Black Americans. You know what I mean? And I guess it's time to go back in. I guess it's time to talk about this. I guess it's time to bring this back to the forefront. You know what I mean? It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But I'm unapologetically going to do this. Unapologetically. See, one thing for sure, two things for certain. Grown Man business is a universal language. It's a universal language. It's nothing racist. It's never been in that pocket. All cultures have grown men that stand on grown man business. White, black, Dominican, Latin, whatever you want to call it. We all got men in our culture that stand on business. And all those dudes, all those men stand with Grown Man Business TV. And then you got the cowards. You got the suckers. You got the leeches. You got the rats and the roaches as well. You got the rats and the roaches and the leeches as well. And those are the men that got to be called out. And Fat Joe, when it come to the Latino culture, when it come to being a Boricua, Fat Joe has always been a leech. Fat Joe has always been a rat, a rodent, a sucker. Yeah, and let me say it again, a leech. Absolutely nasty work what Fat Joe represents, and I'm gonna speak to New York City in a minute, but right now I wanna stay right on Fat Joe, and I want to keep this live intentional. I don't want to come up here and call Fat Joe a lot of names and be funny and make a lot of jokes. With this particular live stream, I want to be very intentional and direct with the message. Okay, so you know. And let me throw this in there. Math Hoffa. Math Hoffa is the new Vlad, the DJ Vlad. He's the Black Vlad. Math Hoffa is an industry puppet that is going to be used for distractions, for destruction. Math Hoffa is nasty work. Never trust a man that'll lay down with a misfit Javante Tank Davis. Yeah, Math Hoffa, he snuck out on his old lady and he laid down with a whole bulldog of misfit Javante Tank Davis. Never trust a man that'll do that. Never trust a man that'll put his hands on his wife, put his hands on his girlfriend, and then tell the world that we edited the tape. Nah, I saw the tape. I saw it with my own eyes, my G. So you can't run from that. Never trust the rats, the rodents, and the snakes of the culture. Okay? So you got Fat Joe sitting on the barber chair with Mad Hoffa. And this is the type of content we get. This is the type of scenario that happens, and you don't have not one black man, not one stand-up soldier to correct Fat Joe and to put him in his place right then and there on camera. These are the guys that's gonna make it to the top. The real men, they gonna try to muffle that. The real men that stand on real grown man business that ain't gonna let you play with the culture, they gonna muffle that. They gonna shadow ban that. So it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But I wanted to throw that out there. Never trust a man like Mad Hoffa. We saw the video. I saw it with my own eyes. I heard it with my own ears. Ain't no running from what you did to that girl, homie. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Not only her, but the other shorty that said, you took advantage. When you gave her your boxer shorts. Man, Hoffa, I'm going to do a whole live stream on you, and I'm going to make sure I do it right this time. You ain't going to be able to call the YouTube federales. You ain't going to be able to call the YouTube police to get my boot off your neck. Nah, I ain't China Brim. I don't feel like apologizing. I don't apologize to rats and rodents and suckers and leeches. Nah, this is Grown Man Business TV. Fat Joe always got something to say about the culture. He always got something to say about what we got going on. So before we get into the real gist of this live stream, before I really get into, the difference between, Latinos and foundational Black Americans, before I really give you the history, I want to break down the character of a Fat Joe. I want to know, why is it so easy for Fat Joe to say these things, and then all of a sudden people, it becomes viral, and it's like it's some validity. With a dude that got a character like Fat Joe, nothing he say should stick. Nothing he say should have any validity. Fat Joe ain't got no integrity. Fat Joe ain't, come on, man. Fat Joe is a Boricua that want to be Tony Soprano. You want to be an Italian. You think you a mob boss. You think you a mobster, homie. So, again, in math, I got a live stream for you, homie, because we're going to break down your character as well. But for right now, let's stay on Fat Joe. Let's really look at the characteristics of a man like Fat Joe. Let's really break down the ideology of a man like Fat Joe. Before you get to talking about FBA, before you get to talking about foundational Black Americans, homie, you might want to clean your closet. You might want to clean your closet, because ain't no way you going to talk about us after you robbed Big Pun, robbed his family, robbed his son, robbed his wife. And that's why, again, we're going to talk to New York City, because this is the representation y'all got out there. Y'all ain't stepped on Fat Joe yet. Y'all ain't put him in the fire yet. Y'all ain't cooked him. Y'all ain't we gonna get into that. Big salute to the chat. Lisa, I see you in the chat, Big Wrenches. I'm not staying long on this one. Directly to the point. We getting right into this. And a dude like Fat Joe should never be able to speak on the culture. Big salute to the chat, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all, hit the like button and subscribe button. Make sure y'all locked into the channel. And let's listen to Wack 100 for 2 seconds. Big salute to Wack 100, man. Let's give Wack 100 your ear.
It don't matter. That's that man's wife and his children, bro. That's that man's story. Stop blocking them and let them people. The people was homeless. What kind of niggas is you niggas? That man is dead, bro. You robbed him for $4 million already. I've seen the works. $4 million you never gave his wife and kids none of his 30% cut. 1.2 million should have went to his wife and kids. They was homeless in a homeless shelter. When you New York niggas gonna stand for what's right?
I think a lot of people don't know the details of that shit. Like, you a businessman, so you gotta explain it to people. You gotta put it out
right
there.
now, bro. Listen, right now, if Jim Jones, let's say Jim Jones was signed to Fat Joe, and Jim Jones died, right? Jim Jones' contract say 70-30, right? Fat Joe. Every $1 million.
You know they don't fuck with them people. That's what I'm saying.
It don't matter. That's that man's wife and his children, bro. That's that man's story. Stop blocking them and let them people. The people was homeless. What kind of niggas is you niggas? That man is dead, bro. You robbed him for $4 million already. I seen the works. $4 million you never gave his wife and kids none of his 30% cut. 1.2 million should have went to his wife and kids. They was homeless in a homeless shelter. When you New York niggas gonna stand for what's right?
And that's why I'm gonna talk to you New Yorkers. When y'all gonna stand for what's right? When y'all gonna stand on business? When y'all gonna really eradicate the rats and the roaches and the leeches in the culture? Since y'all started hip hop, you always claim to start hip hop. When the last time you cleaned out the closet of hip hop? When the last time y'all did a audit? When the last time y'all audited hip hop? So I'm gonna talk to New York City respectfully. But right now, let's talk about what Wack 100 is saying. We all know Fat Joe robbed Big Pun. This was your man. This was your brother. This was your twin. This was somebody you called your twin. And when he passed away, you robbed his family. Not only did you rob his wife, rob his son, right? His whole family ended up in a damn homeless shelter. Imagine that. Imagine a dude that you was riding with, the terror squad front man, Big Pun, passes away unexpectedly. Tragic loss for hip hop. You understand me? And instead of you taking his son under your wing, instead of you building his brand, instead of you doing what's right because you a grown man standing on grown man business, it exposes the leech in you, the hoe in you. Fat Joe a ho out here. And Big Pun whole family ended up in a homeless shelter. This is the man that get to speak on hip hop. This is the man that get to come out here with his Beijing beard and act like his word means something. That ain't how it work, B. That ain't how it work. And it's nasty work that a young fly dude like myself from Norfolk, Virginia gotta speak on this and step on your neck. Yeah, country boy gotta stand up and say that ain't right, homie. That's dead wrong what you did right there. Absolutely nasty work, and we ain't going for it. So a Fat Joe, you don't come on, man. Your integrity, your validity, everything you stand for is nasty work. The last thing you should be doing is talking about the leader of the black culture. Huh? Didn't you rob Big Pun wife? Didn't you rob his family? Didn't they end up in a homeless shelter under your watch? But the whole time you was using Big Pun. We gonna talk about this, Fat Joe, since you want to talk. Oh, if it wasn't for me, Big Pun. Nah, homie, let me tell you something. You only signed Big Pun because you saw that he was a threat. If Def Jam would have signed Big Pun, your career would have been over a long time ago. If Death Row would have signed Big Pun, your career would have been over a long time ago. If any other record label would have got their hands on Big Pun, Fat Joe and your Flow Joe, your shit would have been over a long time ago. Man, you been garbage with this rap stuff. You were so garbage with hip hop, with the culture, with rapping, that we knew and we figured you found Big Pun rhyme book. Because it ain't add up. It ain't make sense how you went from Flo Joe to rapping to Don Cartagena. Oh, but I'm going to play something because I figured it out. Hey, Fat Joe, I did my due diligence. I figured out how you became Don Cartagena, and we gonna talk about this. You the Puerto Rican Drizzy Drake. You the Puerto Rican BBL Drizzy. Fat Joe is the Puerto Rican BBL Drizzy, and we gonna get into that. But let's stay right here. Let's stay right here, homie. Big salute to the chat, man. Let's stay right here.
I think a lot of people don't know the details of that shit. Like, you a businessman, so you gotta explain it to people. You gotta put it out
right
there.
now, bro. Listen, right now. If Jim Jones, let's say Jim Jones was signed to Fat Joe, and Jim Jones died, right? Jim Jones' contract say 70-30, right? Fat Joe. Every $1 million.
You know they don't fuck with them people. That's what I'm saying.
It don't matter. That's that man's wife and his children, bro. That's that man's story. Stop blocking them and let them people. The people was homeless. What kind of niggas is you niggas? That man is dead, bro. You robbed him for $4 million already. I seen the works. $4 million you never gave his wife and kids none of his 30% cut. 1.2 million should have went to his wife and kids. They was homeless in a homeless shelter. When you New York niggas gonna stand for what's right?
When you New York dudes gonna stand for what's right? Y'all got Fat Joe running around like he's some type of Don Cartagena, knowing damn well what he did to Fat Joe. You got Noriega letting Fat Joe come up there and speak his piece every 2 months. You got Mav Hoffa. Mav Hoffa, same dude laid down with Misfit Javante Tank Davis, because Misfit looked just like Javante Tank Davis, giving this man a platform, not asking him the real questions, not holding him to the fire. Why did you rob Big Pun after all Big Pun did for you? Because we're going to talk about what Big Pun did for you. Why is his family in a homeless shelter? But you want to talk about FBA. Nah, homie, you in the wrong playing field, homie. You done messed with the wrong one. You still talking about foundational Black Americans, and you ain't figured out how to clear your name for what you stole from Big Pun and his work out there. We all know, listen, we all know Wack 100 is tied to the federales. So if Wack 100 saw some work, I'm almost sure he saw it. I'm almost sure. I can almost bet the bank on it. Why am I speaking on this when you know Fat Joe spoke on foundational Black Americans? Because when you dealing with grown men, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta expose the character of a grown man. You don't get to be a grown man and stand on grown man business with a faulty character, homie. When you a leech, when you a snake, when you a rodent. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. You don't get to talk about real big dog situations. Robert Phoenix, listen, man, you might be new to the channel. Do some due diligence on Grown Man Business TV. Everything I talk about might get in trouble, but we ain't worried about that. You might be new to the channel. Big salute to the new subscribers. Fat Joe, my foot is on your neck, and I'ma shove my boot in your Adam's apple. You can't stop this, homie. We don't fear the higher-ups and the elites. We don't fear the algorithm, the shadow banning. We don't fear that. Real is real. Right is right, wrong is wrong. Fat Joe is a leech. So what we gonna do is we gonna assassinate the narrative. We gonna assassinate the character. We gonna assassinate the celebrity, the puppet, the idol that y'all worship. We gonna assassinate that. Then we gonna get into the real topic. All right? So you already heard that man say you robbed, had his whole family in a homeless shelter. Now let's get deeper into the situation. Big salute to the chat. Big salute to the chat. Hey, look. Yeah, time him out for a few seconds. But I ain't really mad. I ain't really mad about Robert Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? What he said was right. You know Fat Joe's a puppet for the higher ups and the elites, right? You know that we gonna talk about this. I want to make sure I'm very intentional and I'm not jumping over my topics. Hey, look, man. Now let's get a little deep into this. Big salute to the chat. I want y'all to listen to Big Pun's wife. See right there, you got Wack 100. Wack 100 exposing the truth. You know, Wack 100, he down with the exposers. Big salute to the exposers out there, the truth tellers, right? But now I want you to hear it directly from the horse's mouth and respectfully. I'm not calling his wife a horse, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean when I say that respectfully. Big salute to the chat, man. Hit the like button.
No, if it wasn't for Pun, Joe would have probably faded out, because if another label would have signed Pun, I feel Joe probably would have faded out in the back. But to know the fact that I know that Pun gave Joe, all right, we're gonna call you Don Cartagena, and then wrote everything after that. You know what I'm saying? So everything.
See how the truth come to the light? See how the truth come to the light, Fat Joe? See, for a lot of y'all that wasn't around, for a lot of y'all that was babies when this all went down, when Big Pun passed away, we all felt like something was up with Fat Joe. His lyrical abilities had went up to 1,000,000. I mean, his wordplay, his rhyme schemes, his metaphors, they were all different. They were all advanced. And we felt like Fat Joe had found Big Pun's rhyme book. That's how advanced it had become. It was unbelievable that a man, a lame like Fat Joe, could have that lyrical ability like that. And now we're figuring out, we got Big Pun's wife telling the world that Big Pun wrote everything on Don Cartagena, a classic album. For most people that like Fat Joe, for most people that roll with Fat Joe, they always bring up the Don Cartagena album. Come to find out, Big Pun gave him that image. Big Pun gave him that name. Big Pun wrote that album. So you was BBL Drizzy before BBL Drizzy was BBL Drizzy. Fat Joe, you had a ghostwriter a long time ago, and we all knew it. We all knew you wasn't real, homie. You about as fake as that beard you got on your face. You about as fake as all. Yeah. You about. Come on, homie. You about as fake as all that makeup you put on that beard, that whatever you got going on. You about as fake as that. You had, come on, son, you had a ghostwriter. You don't get to talk about what black people got going on. You don't get to talk about the culture. Nigga, you fucking 300-pound not need Puerto Rico. You not need, boy. You and Rick Ross is not need. Your knees knocked together. That's what knock need mean. You and Big Pun, you and Ricky Ross, you're not need. Your knees knocking. Any grown man that's not need don't get to speak about what we got going on in the culture. You better eat your red beans and rice. You better get your quesadillas and your tortillas, and you better roll them up. Huh? You better get your Goya and get your ass in the kitchen. Boy, your knees is knocking. Fat Joe knees is knocking. Did y'all know he got knocked knees? Hell wrong with you, boy. Hell wrong with Fat Joe talking about FBA, talking about the culture. When Big Pun wrote your whole talk, hold on. Big salute to the chat, man. Hit the like button.
Time, if it wasn't for Pun, Joe would have probably faded out, because if another label would have signed Pun, I feel Joe probably would have faded out in the back. But
that's exactly what I was saying. Fat Joe, hey, your flow Joe, get the flow Joe. Nobody was rocking with that shit. Nobody liked it, Flow Joe. Nobody was rocking with you, homie. Except for you New Yorkers. You New Yorkers, we gonna talk to you New Yorkers. Give me a few minutes. Give me a couple of more seconds to keep my foot on a Don Cartagena, the knock-kneed Puerto Rican. You a knock-kneed Puerto Rican, boy. Boy, don't make me do it, boy. Don't make me do it. Your goddamn knees is knocking. Did you? Don't make me do it, man. Don't make me do it. And we gonna talk about this because you was in the process of turning Big Pun out. You was in the process, Fat Joe, of turning Big Pun out. You was BBL Drizzy before you had a ghostwriter. No wonder you was so mad at Cuban Link. Big salute to Cuban Link. Big shout out to Cuban Link. Was always my favorite Terror Squad member. I always liked Cuban Link. I knew that Cuban Link wrote his own music. I could tell that he was gifted, he was talented, and you hated Cuban Link. You got his face cut because you were so jealous. You were so jealous. You jealous one's envy, yeah, man. You told on yourself. Hey, we gonna talk about Fat Joe. Because the last thing you gonna do, Fat Joe, is I don't think you ever gonna speak on the culture again after I get done with you, homie. After I get done with you, man, you ain't never gonna speak on the culture again, B. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. If Def Jam would have found Big Pun, your career would have been over. You would still be rapping like Flo Joe. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the you would have been Flo Joeing. If Puffy would have got Big Pun, if Def Row, if Swisher House, if any of these other labels would have got their hands on Big Pun, your career would have been over a long time ago. You was stuck in the Flo Joe. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. And after all he did for you, writing the whole Don Cartagena album, don't run from it now. Don't act like you don't know what we talking about. You don't know what I'm talking about? Okay, hold up. You don't know what I'm talking about.
To know the fact that I know that Hun gave Joe, all right, we're going to call you Don Cartagena, and then wrote everything after that. You know what I'm saying? So
everything?
Everything. So, everything. The whole...
Everything. He wrote everything. Yeah, he was Flo Joeing. He couldn't get out the Flo Joe. He was trapped. He was trapped in time. He was trapped. Fat Joe was trapped. Everything. Yeah. You didn't know this was coming, Flo Joe? Huh? Knock need, boy. And had his whole family after he wrote, took you out of Flo Joeing. Had your Flo Joeing, showed you how to rap, showed you how to get a chorus, showed you how to go and get a new persona, showed you how to reinvent yourself. After Big Pun did all of that, he tragically passes away. And what you do? Rob his family. You learn from the higher-ups and the elites how to steal publishing, how to steal his likeness. You think Big Pun couldn't have had a movie like Eminem? You think Big Pun family wouldn't be sitting on 100 million right now off the work he put in? And then y'all letting this man walk around. Y'all giving him platforms. Y'all ain't addressing the talk. Y'all got Cuban Link. Y'all won't even let Cuban Link get on the platform and give y'all the real spill. Noriega said y'all won't even let Cuban Link get on the platform and tell the real story. The real person that was up next to Big Pun. The real person that grew up with Big Pun is Cuban Link, not Fat Joe, son. It's not Fat Joe, it's Cuban Link. And y'all won't even give him a platform. Yo, somebody tag Cuban Link and let him know Grown Man Business TV want an interview. I want to talk to Cuban Link. I be seeing you in these YouTube streets, homie, and I want to have a conversation with the real. Big salute to Cuban Link. Fat Joe, the beluga whale. I'm talking a knock-kneed Puerto Rican. A knock-kneed Puerto Rican, homie. Respectfully. Respectfully. And again, I told y'all, grown man business, that's a universal language, homie. In all cultures, it's grown men that stand on grown man business. Even Puerto Ricans, even the men, all cultures. But if I'm dealing with a knock-kneed Latino, if I'm dealing with a knock-kneed Puerto Rican, then I'm going to talk to a knock-kneed Puerto Rican. Word to Cuban link. Everything. Yeah, that's what she just said out her mouth. Hold on. Give me a big salute to the chat.
All right, we're gonna call you Don Cartagena, and then wrote everything after that. You know what I'm saying? So everything. The whole Don Cartagena album, everything. He just wrote everything. You know what I'm saying? So,
but at the same time, I feel like, you know, if he's better and like Fat Joe could do that, I think that's a smart move for even.
Oh no, Joe's a smart man. He's a smart businessman. I never said that. He's a very smart businessman.
Like, I was like,
he's still relevant all these
I'm,
years.
I'm putting you on, help me write. Like, if you're better, like, mine is, why not?
That ain't how the culture work. You don't get to say, yo, I put you on and you're better, so, you know, help me write. You know what I'm saying? That's not smart in the culture. That's why Fat Joe never told us that Big Pun wrote all his raps. He wrote the whole Don Cartagena. He always kept that to himself because now you BBL Drizzy. Fat Joe and BBL Drizzy got ghostwriters. Y'all don't get to speak on the culture. All right? Yeah, word to Cuban link, man. Nasty work. Now let's talk about this. Let's get deeper into this. Because the whole reason we having this conversation, right, is because Fat Joe has a lack of respect for FBA culture. Fat Joe has a lack of respect for hip hop, for our culture, this little thing of ours. Hip hop is like the mob. It's like the mafia. It's this little thing of ours. You know what I'm talking about. And you know, I want to say this, right? New York City. One thing that New York City stands on, one thing that the people in New York City they thrive off of and they always speak on is how diverse New York City is. Yeah, we got all cultures here. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Well, it's pros and cons to being such a melting pot. And I'm talking to New York City. It's pros and cons because on one hand, you got all these different nationalities, races, cultures in New York City. On the other hand, none of these cultures respect black people in New York City. None of the cultures. None of these cultures that y'all are a melting pot with, none of these people in New York City that y'all share the streets and y'all share the subway and y'all share working environments, they don't respect FBA. And now we're going to talk to New York City. I'm talking directly to New York City. Y'all a melting pot of people that don't respect black people. Yeah, you know, it's a lot of people out there that are multicultural and love everybody. We're not talking to them. I'm talking to the Latinos that are prejudiced, that are racist towards black people. I'm talking about the Jamaicans, the Jews, the Chinese, the Dominicans, that all look down on black people. At the same time, using our culture to monopolize, using our culture to monetize, using our culture, draining it. Because it's lucrative to rock with us. It's lucrative to be, come on, homie. It's lucrative. And I don't never hear New Yorkers talking about that side of it, that angle. Yeah, y'all a melting pot, but guess what? Nobody that's in the melting pot respects you guys. Black people in New York City are the lowest on the totem pole. Y'all don't get no respect. To the point where you got Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans like Busta Rhymes trying to convince us that they had a hand in creating our culture. At the same time, saying that we ain't got no culture. Fat Joe said we ain't got no culture. Casanet said we ain't got no culture. A whole African. Casanet is either Haitian or African. He said we ain't got no culture. Busta Rhymes said we ain't got no culture. Y'all don't remember that? Y'all don't remember Busta Rhymes saying that we ain't so all these different cultures for some reason look down on black people. I told y'all a story. The first time I was called the N-word by a Latino was in East New York by one of my closest homeboys, his Wella. That's when I learned what Wella. Do you know what Wella mean? Write it in the chat. Wella means grandmother. That's the first time I was ever called the N-word by a Latino. That's when I learned in New York City, the Latinos, the Mexicans, the Dominicans, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, everybody is low-key racist against black people. And they get mad when I speak about it. They get mad because when you say it out loud, it's so disrespectful, it's so diabolical that they all want to hide behind the fact that they rock with black people, knowing goddamn well in their household, they disrespect black people. Now, what you got to understand is this. We have all the culture. We have built America from the ground up, brick by brick. We built America brick by brick. If it wasn't for black Americans, FBA, this would be a third world country. A third world country, New York City. Because I'm talking directly to New York City. A third world country. If it wasn't for our inventions, you would be living in a third world country. You might as well be in Afghanistan somewhere. In New York City, I want to give y'all some game. Because again, since y'all won't say it, since it ain't a New Yorker out there that'll stand on grown man business and put the truth out there, you know what? I'ma do it. An old country boy from Virginia, Norfolk, VA, I'ma give y'all the game. We built New York City. Woo! Did you know that? Huh? We built New York City. Country boys. We built y'all city. We built New York City. And I'm about to really give y'all some game on this. I'm about to really pop your top when it comes to this information. I'm giving you this dope straight off the brick into the bottles. Us country boys from down south built New York City. And look what y'all doing. Y'all got Jamaicans, y'all got Puerto Ricans, y'all got Dominicans and Mexicans and Venezuelans disrespecting y'all culture, and y'all won't even stand on business. Y'all giving them a platform. Well, now it's time for the engineer to speak up. It's time for the creator. Now, let me give New York City, let me give y'all some history. All right? Fat Joe, knock-kneed Puerto Rican. You a knock-kneed Puerto Rican. You a whole, your knees knocked together. Your knees knocked together, Fat Joe. You can't speak on this. But since you want to act like you know something, I'm going to give y'all some game. Now, before we came to New York City was a weird place. Hey, Just Talk Real Talk. Salute to my G. 050 The Movement. I want to give y'all some game on New York City because I know y'all from New York City. Before us country boys came to New York City, it was a weird place. It was a desolate area. It was nothing like it is. New York City was ran by the Irish. Did you know that? Did you know that before we came to New York City, it was gangs of New York out there? This was New York City right here. This was New York City before we came to New York City right here. Look at that. Look at that. Hold on. Let me give you some game. I want to help you guys. You New Yorkers need some help. I'm going to give you guys some help. This was New York City before we came to New York City. Right there. Dog fur everywhere. It was dog fur. It was dog fur every goddamn where before we came to New York. Look, gangs of New York. Gangs of New York. This was New York City. This was New York City before we came to New York City. It wasn't y'all wasn't getting it jumping. New York wasn't New York before we came. Now, let me give y'all some more history on this. It's called the Harlem Renaissance. Yeah, let me make sure the light is right. I want to make sure the light is hitting just right. The Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance. Now, again, let's really look at this because I want to give y'all some game on it. Hey, yeah, just talk. Look at that. Look at that top hat. That was New York City when New York City was New York City. That was New York City right there. This right, dog fur all up under the top hat right there. Look at that dog fur right there. Smell like, what that dog fur stinking right there. That dog fur stank. This is New York City before we came to New York City right here. Dog fur. Now what happened, right? Us Southerners, us country boys, we started making our way to New York City. It was called the Harlem Renaissance. We got to New York City. We bought that country swag up there. You know, Malcolm X. Or we going to talk about New York City. I'm talking directly to New York City. Malcolm X, you know, Michael Jordan, his parents was from North Carolina. We all started coming up to New York City. We was wearing them zoot suits. We brought the Harlem Renaissance. We brought the jazz. We brought the culture to New York City. We made New York City. Now, let me give you some game. Let me help you understand what I'm saying to you. I always like to speak on the homie. Salute to Zip with the Drip. Big salute to the homie Zip with the Drip. Zip with the Drip is just like every other New Yorker. In the summertime, y'all used to come down south. Zip with the Drip used to go down to Mississippi. He tells stories all the time about how he used to end up, him and his brother was in Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere down south, because his family come from the south. Zip with the Drip, the most New Yorker right now. I'm going to tell you, New Yorkers, y'all better be glad y'all got Zippy. New York, y'all better be glad y'all got Zip with the Drip. But even Zip with the Drip family is from down south. Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn, but his family is from North Carolina. New York was gangs of New York. It was Irish, dog fur Irish people running New York before we came up there, and we brought y'all the Harlem Renaissance. Y'all didn't know that came from us. Y'all didn't know that. We built this shit. We built it. Bumpy Johnson, New York. He's from down south. Huh? Frank Lucas is from North Carolina. Huh? Frank Matthews, one of the biggest dope dealers that ever walked the face of the earth, is from North Carolina, homie. Frank Matthews, do your research, New York City. You ain't see American Gangster? You ain't see that? When Frank Lucas sent down to North Carolina, had all his family come up there, Nicky Barnes, everybody's from North. And if you was born in New York City, your mama from down south, your grandmama from down south, your aunties is from down south. You just was born in New York City. You was born in the place that we built. And now you got a knock-kneed Puerto Rican telling me that we ain't got no damn culture. At the same time, making money out the culture that we built. You got a knock-kneed Puerto Rican talking about we ain't got no culture, at the same time making millions of dollars off the culture that we built. Listen to me, man. I'm trying to give y'all some game, man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles. I don't step on this dope, homie. I don't put quinine in it. I don't use baking soda. I don't do that. Why y'all think every summer y'all end up down south? Why y'all think when it's time to hustle, y'all come down south? Why? Yo, man, I got a cousin down there in VA. You know what I'm saying? We gonna go down to VA. We gonna get some money. Yo. I got some family out there in Mississippi. It's getting hot in Brooklyn. We gonna get in the car. We gonna drive down to Mississippi. We gonna get some money. You thought y'all just traveled around for no reason? All your family is from down south. Before we came to New York City, this what y'all was dealing with. This who ran New York City right here. The dog fur right here. Look at the dog fur across his mouth right there. Look at this shit. Look what they was doing to y'all in New York City before we saved y'all. Gangs of New York. We built this shit. Big salute, Stacy Galore, 100%. I want to talk to Cuban Link. Cuban Link, I want to talk to Cuban Link. I'm tired of listening to the fake shit. I'm tired of listening to the rats and the roaches. I'm tired of looking at Fat Joe and that fake ass beard and them knock knees. I'm tired of seeing a knock-kneed Puerto Rican on every platform telling us what we got going on when y'all was being ran by the dog fur. The dog fur had New York City. Y'all ain't have no parts of that. So every New Yorker, every gang, all you New York, y'all need to bow down to the real. And if you ain't gonna speak up for the culture that we built, then guess what? I'ma speak up for it. I ain't gonna let no knock-kneed Puerto Rican tell me what's going on with my culture that my people built when we came to New York City and we created the Harlem Renaissance. Cameron, Mace. Where y'all thought that swag came from? Where y'all thought that came from? Where y'all thought that sauce came from? You thought you built that? You thought you did that? Even Cameron ended up in Ohio somewhere. Huh? It was called the Harlem Renaissance, when a bunch of black people from down south in the Midwest made our way to New York City to save y'all. Yeah, the dog fur having people had y'all in the cobra clutch. This man right here had y'all in a cobra clutch. And you couldn't get out. You couldn't figure out how to get away. This man was whooping. He was whooping feet. He was whooping feet on you boys out there in New York City before we came. Who you thought Malcolm X was from New York City? Malcolm X is from like Alabama or something. What you thought? We built New York City. And we watching y'all. You letting a Jamaican, you letting a whole Jamaican from Jamaica tell black people we ain't got no culture over here and y'all ain't spoke up on it yet. Y'all let Busta Rhymes, whole head full of Beijing, bumba-clot pussy at a bumba-ras, tell us, pussy boy, what a pussy what? Bonty boy, a whole Bonty boy tell us that we ain't got no culture. We built New York City. Southerners. New Yorkers, y'all ain't create the Harlem Renaissance. Y'all ain't bring jazz to New York. That shit came from down south. Little Zip with the Drip spent his summers in Mississippi with his real family. Salute to Zip. That's the homie right there. Respectfully, I rock with Zip. And I'm gonna say this again. New York City, y'all better be glad that the Department of Corrections let Lil Zippy out, because y'all needed something. Y'all was on life support before Zip with the Drip got out of jail. Y'all was on life support. You know that sound? Beep, 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 beep. Y'all was on life support before Zip with the Drip got out of jail. So y'all better show some respect to that. Fat Joe. Let's talk about this, man. You said black people don't have a leader, and let me ask you a question. Who is the leader of the Latinos? Who is the leader of Puerto Rican people? Who is the leader? New York City, I'm talking to Fat Joe now. Y'all can breathe easy. I'm gonna take my foot off your neck. I'm gonna take my foot off your neck, New York City, but I ain't gonna stop. I ain't gonna stop. I'm gonna get back to you, New York City. Fat Joe, who's the leader of the Puerto Ricans so I can sit down and have a conversation with him? Who is the leader? Is it you, Fat Joe? You knock-kneed Puerto Rican? Is your knees knocking? Are you the leader? Are you the leader and your knees is knocking? Huh? Huh? Are you the leader of the Puerto Ricans? A whole Latino Puerto Rican Boricua that want to be Tony Soprano, that think he a mobster? You ain't even got your own culture. You think you Tony Soprano. Talking about culture. If you the leader, then we need to have a conversation. And trust me, homie, you don't want me to apply more pressure. You don't want me to keep my foot on your neck. I don't know what you thought this was. I don't know who you thought you was. But you don't want grown man Benny to keep my foot on your neck. You, huh? I wanted to be intentional with this live stream. I wanted to break down your integrity. I wanted to assassinate your character before we got into the real meat and potatoes when we get into this. Got a lot of love for New York City, but I ain't gonna stand by and let a knock-kneed Puerto Rican disrespect the culture. Mav Hoffa, the same dude who laid down with a whole bulldog. I'm talking Misfit Javante Tank Davis. Do you know who Misfit, the battle rapper, is? She's built like Javante Tank Davis. And Mav Hoffa, he knocked them boots. Never trust a man that lay down with bulldoggers. Never trust a man that'll lay down and take the boxer shorts off a bulldogger and knock her boots off. Never trust a man that'll do that. Mad Hoffa, I got a whole live stream for you. Me and China, we tight like that. Real is real. But I ain't got no apology for you, homie. I ain't doing no apology video. Whole time, you got a beautiful young lady at your house. You sneaking out the house, running to a Javante Misfit Tank Davis and knocking the Calvin Kleins down. You pulling a box of briefs to the side. She ain't even wearing panties. You pulling her box of briefs to the side. Mav Hoffa did that. He pulled the box of briefs to the side. Knocked the back out. Yeah, he knocked the back out the bulldog. He did that. And y'all, come on, man. New York, what we doing, man? What we doing, man? Is y'all standing on business or not? Well over 600 in the live chat. I ain't got no microphone. We going direct to consumer. This is pure dope right here. Straight off the brick and to the bottles. I'm talking some of the rawest dope you ever gonna get your hands on. Pure content. Y'all forgot who was in charge of y'all forgot already. Yo, New York, New Yorkers, y'all get so wrapped up in we from New York, this is New York City, that y'all forgot that this man was in control of New York City. This man right here, with the dog fur on his top lip, had y'all in a chokehold for years. And now we got Mad Hoffa, the Bulldogger Slayer. He's slaying Bulldogger. I'm talking Javante Tank Davis. Misfit look just like Javante Tank Davis. And he giving platforms to a knock-kneed Puerto Rican who telling black people we ain't got no culture when we built the culture, boy. We built this. Put a 1 in the chat if you got family down south. Put a 1 in the chat if you ever went down south for the summertime to your family house. Put a 1 in the chat. If you came down to Virginia, came down to Mississippi, came down to North Carolina, came down to South Carolina, came down to Florida, came down to Alabama, and spent time in the summertime with your family. That's because the origin of New York is down south. We started this. We built it brick by brick. We brought it to New York City. We gave y'all life. And y'all gonna disrespect me? You disloyal, bitch-made, fool-ass punks. You can do this to me? You disloyal, bitch-made, fool-ass punks. You think you can do this to me? Yeah. Yeah. Watch your mouth, homie, before you ever think to talk about the culture. We brought the fish and the grits to New York City. Now, the only thing, I want to give y'all this, I want to let y'all know this. The only thing we didn't bring to New York City is those glizzies that y'all got. Y'all, New York City is the only place in the world where you can get 24-hour Frank stands and you can go outside at 3 in the morning and get a Frank to your mouth. Did you know that, New York City, that you guys are the only place in the world that got 24-hour Frank stands where you can get a Frank to your mouth? You can't come down south and get Franks at 3 in the morning. We don't sell Franks at 3 in the morning. We don't sell Franks, and we don't got extra Gleek sauce for your Franks. But in New York City, y'all got Nathan's and y'all got all these hot dog stands everywhere. Did you know that? Did you know that? Did you know that New York City got Franks and hot dogs all over the city? And you can wake up at 2 in the morning and you can walk on down and you can say, "Give me a Frank with extra mustard on it." Did you know that? We didn't give y'all that. I don't know where that came from. We not gonna take responsibility for your 24-hour Frank stands out there in New York City. That didn't come from down south. Yeah, y'all got that. But when it come to the culture, when it come to jazz, when it come to rap, when it come to music, when it come to this thing of ours, we gave y'all that. Y'all wasn't cool until we came to New York. Y'all wasn't wearing zoot suits. Y'all wasn't doing none of that. Y'all was scared of the dog fur. This man right here, this what y'all was scared of before we came up there. Yeah. Yeah, look. Gangs of New York. The top hats to your motherfucking top. I suggest you go watch that movie and get a direct history lesson. Top hat. Motherfucker run down on you with a top hat. Dog fur stuffed under the top. He got a top hat full of dog fur. And it smelled like it shit. Oh, it stank. That dog fur stank. I don't want the dog fur on me. I don't want it nowhere near me. So I don't want it. I can't stand the dog. The dog fur stank. Fat Joe, man. We gonna get Cuban Link on the line. I'm gonna reach out to Cuban Link. I think I'm gonna go on Instagram. I'm gonna go in his DM. I'm gonna go to his YouTube channel. I'm gonna get in his comments. It's time for us to have a real conversation. You gonna respect this culture. You gonna show the utmost respect to this culture. Knock-knee Puerto Rican. Now I wanna go a step further, man. I want to go a step further with this. You got all these different cultures in New York and just around America, period. I don't want to just single out New York City. Just nationwide, we got all these different cultures that are in America. And at the same time of being in America, they are representing their country, their homeland, whatever you want to call it. You know, you got Puerto Ricans, they got a Puerto Rican flag. You got Venezuelans, they got a Venezuelan flag. You got Chinese, they got a China flag, Chinatown. You got all these different cultures in America that are trying to still represent their homeland. And this is my message. This is a message to black people. You know, I want you to always keep in mind that all of these different cultures have deserted their homeland. They have abandoned their homeland to come to America that we built. Our inventions, our ideas, we spilt blood on this land. Our intellectual properties have built America. And then you got all the, why ain't Fat Joe in Puerto Rico building up Puerto Rico? You a knock-knee Puerto Rican in America. Why don't you take your knock-knees to Puerto Rico and build up your homeland? Let me tell you something. On my 40th birthday, I went to Puerto Rico, and it was nasty work out there. It was nasty work in Puerto Rico. And I always want y'all to keep this in the front of your mental capacity. Keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That if every culture went back and built up their homeland, oh, we'd be powerful. Busta Rhymes, why you don't go to Jamaica? Jamaica is in shambles right now. Busta Rhymes, they could use you. Hey, bust the bus. Instead of you telling black people we ain't got no culture on our land that we built, how about you go back to Jamaica, bumba clot, pussy rise clot, Bonty boy, and how about you save Jamaica? DJ Academics, you a Jamaican. Won't you go to Jamaica and invest in Jamaica? All the Mexicans, you know, people tell me all the time, grown man business TV, Mexicans are the hardest workers. Well, you know, I disagree with that. I got to go the opposite way. Because if Mexicans was the hardest workers, then why ain't Mexico worth nothing? Why you got to come to America to be a hard worker when you got a whole land named after you? You a Mexican, and that's Mexico. Your ass probably should be in Mexico working hard, cutting the grass. Yeah, if you went to Mexico and you cut the damn grass and you build houses, you wouldn't have to run across the border. Chinatown. How you got a Chinatown in the middle of New York and y'all let that ride? Y'all ain't went to Chinatown and said, hey, we boycotting this shit. We in America. You can't, what you got a Chinatown in America? Won't you just go to China? Yeah, won't you just go to China then? And I'm saying all that to say, that's the real reason why all of these cultures have a gripe with black people, with FBA, Foundational Black Americans, because deep down, they hate us because we are the only people that did not abandon our land. We went through slavery. We went through Jim Crow. We went through redlining. We went through being lynched. We went through all of these different, the crack epidemic. We went through all these different stages. And we didn't run to Africa. We didn't run to Jamaica. We didn't go to Haiti and say, please, can we live here? We want to seek asylum. We want to create a better life in Haiti. We didn't run to Ghana and say, Ghana, please, can you let us live here with y'all and create a better life? We are seeking asylum. So Busta Rhymes, he secretly got a gripe with us. He don't like our culture. He want to disrespect us because secretly, deep down, he's a coward. Busta Rhymes, deep down, is a coward. He ran and left Jamaica in shambles. Bumba clot pussy boy. Knock-kneed Fat Joe, the knock-kneed Puerto Rican. He secretly got a gripe with Foundational Black Americans because deep down he's a coward. He left Puerto Rico. Yeah, you took a plane over there with a bunch of food, but guess what? Guess how many people lost their life when that hurricane hit Puerto Rico a few years ago? How many people lost their house? How many people lost their job? How many people are still in shambles? I just went there last year. I stayed on a resort though. I don't like the dog fur. So I stayed on the resort. But when I came off the resort, I saw, oh, it's terrible out there in Puerto Rico. The last thing you should be talking about is FBA culture. Did you know that? Did you know that us black people, we don't got to worry about immigration laws? We don't need a passport to come over here. You know, Africans, you know, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, Johannesburg, and all that, they need immigration and they need passports to come to America. We not Africans, homie. We still on our land. We ain't never left. If Mexicans were so good at working, why ain't Mexico worth a damn? Why is they running across the border if Mexicans is such a powerful worker? So if you ain't gonna speak on it, New Yorkers, yeah, I'm talking to all you New Yorkers, man. If y'all ain't gonna stand on business, then guess what? You made your way to the right place. You in the right place, homie. Grown Man Business TV, straight pure dope. Yeah, straight off the brick into the bottles. I get the brick, I put the dope right in the bottle, and I give it to you. I ain't gonna try to make one brick in the 5. I ain't gonna try to make one brick in the 4. I ain't stepping on this pure information, this pure dope. I'm giving it right to you. Now listen to me. Take it easy. I don't want you to overdose. I don't want this to go over your head or under your bridge. I want you to take it easy. Hit that dope nice and lightly. It's pure. New Yorkers. I talk about New York, they feel away. I ain't got nothing but love for New York City. My family, my ancestors moved to New York City. Let me give y'all some game about me. Grown Man Business TV. All my family is from New York City. My mother is from New York City, right? My father, he's from New Jersey. He was from New Jersey, right? Newark. All my uncles is from Brooklyn, New York City, right? But my grandmother is from South Carolina. My great-grandmother is from South Carolina. My great-great-great-great-grandmother is from South Carolina. I'm a part of the Geechee tribe. I'm not an African, homie. We was here before slavery. My tribe. But my grandmother moved to New York City. My grandmother had my mom in New York City. My mom met my dad in New Jersey, and they had Grown Man Business TV in Virginia because my mom was in the military. My dad was in the military. Norfolk, Virginia, 757, right here. Got the biggest military base in the world. In Norfolk, Virginia, we got the biggest military base in the world. Not the state, the country, in the world, in Norfolk, Virginia. So I was born in Virginia. See how that worked? My mom from New York City, but our lineage is down south. New York ain't New York without the South. This is New York City right here without the South. This is New York City right here. You dudes will be wearing top hats right now. You niggas will be wearing top hats like T-Pain if it wasn't for us. What? Now I say all that to say this. Cuban link, I need to talk to you, homie. I want to hear the real. I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear no more of this fake. I'm closing my ears. Stand on grown man business at all times. Check the characteristics of these leeches, of these suckers. And don't be scared to put them on Front Street. Don't be scared to give up the game. The game is the Harlem Renaissance started from dudes down south, and we brought it to New York City. Rap music started with dudes down south spitting and skitting, rapping and tapping, and we brought it to New York City. We saved New York City from the Irish that was in control of the ports, that was in control of the money, that was in control of the unions. We saved y'all. Y'all didn't even know black people existed in New York City when them Irish boys was running. Y'all was scared. Y'all was hiding somewhere. We didn't even know y'all was up there. When we came to New York City, we took Harlem. We created the Harlem Renaissance, Southern boys, country boys. And we stood on business against Schultz and all of the mobsters and all the Italians and all the Irish. We went to war with them. We did that. Bumpy Johnson, Frank Lucas, all the gangsters. Frank Matthews is from North Carolina. Frank Matthews, do your research. The biggest drug dealer New York has ever seen. We don't know what happened to Frank Matthews. We don't know if the mob got him. We don't know if the police got him. We don't know if he made a great escape. We don't know what happened to Frank Matthews. He's from the South. He's from North Carolina. So I want to leave y'all New Yorkers with this. You either gonna get down or you gonna lay down. You gonna get down or you gonna lay down. We gotta expose this. We gotta pull the curtains out. We gotta look backstage. We gotta get the smoke and mirrors out the way. You New Yorkers ain't what y'all thought y'all was. Y'all ain't who y'all think y'all are. Y'all an extension of us. And y'all misrepresenting, homie. Y'all misrepresenting what we built. And I ain't gonna stand for it. I ain't gonna stand for it. So either y'all gonna check Fat Joe or I'ma check him. And if I gotta check him like I just did, I'ma check you too. Yeah, New York, I'ma check you too. You gonna respect it or you gonna check it. And right now, New York City, I don't respect it. I don't respect it, homie. I mean, what more can I say? What more can I? Yeah, I ain't gonna give y'all all that. What more can I say with this? Not need Puerto Rican? Yeah, it is what it is. Trust me, we doing numbers over here. You gonna recognize what we doing over here. We standing on business. Nigga, you a ho out here. You a hoe, and I ain't gonna go, salute to everybody in the DM. I got a lot of, salute to all my investors. I got a lot of people highly invested in Grown Man Business TV. And I got the DMs with, pictures of Fat Joe's son. Pictures of his family. And I had to sit with those pictures. Because this is Grown Man Business. Yeah, this is Big 757, Norfolk, Virginia. East Little Creek Road, homie. Merrimack Landing, Park Place, Huntersville, Military Circle Highway, Youngs Park, Oak Leaf Park, Diggs Park, Berkeley, Lambert's Point. I had to sit with those images of Fat Joe's children, of his son. And, I want to just let everybody in the DM know that ain't what we doing over here at Grown Man Business TV. What you will understand is karma is karma. So it ain't for me to give you your karma, but I'm going to give you the narrative of what's in my DM. Fat Joe has a son that is, damn near a paraplegic. He's mentally ill. I don't want to use the R word. I wish it was back in the day where I could just use the R word. But Fat Joe has a son that is mentally ill. You understand me? And he let Big Pun's son live in a shelter. Big Pun's son is a hell of a rapper. He's a hell of a lyricist. And you see how you get that when you be a snake, when you be a leech? Yeah, the Most High is going to curse you. When you talk down on a culture that built you, the Most High is going to, when you secretly are racist towards the same very people that accepted you, the Most High is going to curse you, B. And your son being in that state, your son being in that position, your only son to carry on your name. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be, man. New York City, stand on business, man. Stand on business, man. And when y'all going to stand up? Man, listen, man. Listen, man. Nasty work, B.
You know they don't fuck with them people. That's what I'm saying.
It don't matter. That's that man's wife and his children, bro. That's that man's story. Stop blocking them and let them people. The people was homeless. What kind of niggas is you niggas? That man is dead, bro. You robbed him for $4 million already. I seen the work. $4 million you never gave his wife and kids none of his 30% cut. 1.2 million should have went to his wife and kids. They was homeless in a homeless shelter. When you New York niggas gonna stand for what's right?
You know they don't fuck
When
with
you
them
New
people.
York dudes going to stand for what's right, man. Big Salute, Kush Boy 420. You already know what time it is. Big Wrenches, highly appreciate that. You already know how we giving it up. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm going to keep my foot on their neck. Like I said, I did content on Fat Joe a while ago. I did content on Busta Rhymes. I did a whole series where I just went to each culture, each race, and exposed their prejudice, their hate for black people. I did that. You know what I mean? So we're going to keep doing that. And I want to answer a question. Rico, I see you in the chat. Big salute. Rico asked the question. He said, where's the karma for the colonizers? If it were real. I want to give you some game, man. You know what I'm saying? On this beautiful Sunday. Just because you can't see the karma that's happening to the dog fur people, don't mean that it ain't happening. If you can't see the karma, the things that are going down, and the things that are soon to come when it comes to white people, then you need to clear your palate and open your third eye so that you can see more clearly. You need to see, if you can't see it, then that means you need to work on you, because it's something that you're doing, Rico, that is not allowing you to be able to see through the smoke and mirrors. That's not allowing you to be able to pull the curtain to the side and see what's going on backstage. If you don't see the urgency when it comes to Caucasian people, if you don't see the panic, then again, you got to check yourself, and then you got to be able to clear your own palate. See, when you indulge and you engage in so many different worldly things, it makes it hard for you to be able to see. But trust me, their karma is happening. It's happening right now. Let me give you some game, right? Because you came to the Realest. You came to the Realest channel on YouTube. You asked the question. Let me just kind of open your eyes, right? Look at this great nation we lived in. Look at America, the American dream, right? Big house, white picket fence. Look at everything that white people ancestors fought and killed for. The Constitution. I mean, all these things that they did so much death and destruction to uphold. You don't see that it's crumbling right in their hands. You don't see that Caucasian people have lost the American dream. You don't see that everything that they have worked so hard to obtain is being squandered. You don't understand. You don't see that the majority of white people in America, excuse me, in America can't afford homes right now? You can't see that the majority of Caucasian people in America are living at the poverty line with black people? You don't see that Karens are now here. We got Karens. Where is this coming from? We never had Karens because these white women never had to deal with this type of pressure. These white women never had to deal with the thought of losing their country. And now you see Karens lashing out. You got white people complaining about inflation. When has that ever happened? Back in the day, our mothers, yeah, man, prices on chicken was going up, prices on this. We can't afford houses. We trying to figure out how to do this, how to do that. Our mothers is making $1 out of 15 cents. Word to Tupac Shakur. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, a dime and a nickel. Our mothers already went through this. We grew up living like this. The inflation don't affect us. We've been living like this. But now you got white people not able to obtain the American dream. You got white people not able to make ends meet, living from check to check, going to school, getting good ass jobs, and still can't make ends meet. And it's only going to get worse. Hey, listen, I'm going to do a whole live on this. It's only going to get worse. The children reap the sins of the father. These white people have not done anything to us. They didn't hang us. They didn't enslave us. I respect these dog fur having people. But what they don't understand is that these white people are the children of the slave owners, of the slave master. And the children always reap the sins of the father. You know, your great grandfather who was graping those slave women out there in the slave quarter. You know, your grandfather who was hanging black men. You know, your great grandfather who was having sex with the young black slaves. The reason why you got freckles right now, the reason why you light skinned right now, you're gonna reap the sins of what your grandfathers did. The children reap the sins of the father. That's in the Bible, homie. That's in the Bible. You know, the same book that y'all perverted and gave the slaves. You know, that holy word that y'all took books and took chapters and misplaced words and changed words and made this mean that. And you know that same holy book that y'all pissed on. Oh, you got to pay for that. You know, when y'all wrote in the Bible, obey your earthly masters. You know, when y'all did that, if you don't obey your earthly masters, you get 100 lashes. You know, when white people did that, your ancestors did that, you got to pay for that. So now here we are. Here we are. You got Caucasian people trying to tell grown man business TV that they got good hair. And I'm telling these same people that's dog fur. Oh, they never thought they'd see the day where a black man would be able to smell that dog fur. Where a black man will tell these people that ain't good hair, baby. We don't want no dog. We don't want the dog fur near me. I don't want no dog fur near me like that. I don't want the dog fur on me. I don't want it. Well, you got a black man pointing out the fact that you kissing dogs in the mouth. Tongue in the to the mouth. You don't see the karma in that. You don't see the karma in a white woman with a dog tongue in her mouth. Now let's get deep into that. Salute, Rico. Let's get deep into that. China has all the farmland in America. Do you think that the white people that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima would ever believe that China would own farmland on American soil? Do you think that the Caucasian ancestors ever thought that they would see the day where China has the majority of the farmland on American soil? Oh yeah. Oh, the karma is real, baby. You just got to be able to you got to be able to pin the tail on the donkey. You got to be able to connect the dots. You got to be able to see through the smoke and mirrors. And you can know karma is happening right now. And I want to tell y'all something, because I'm going to do a whole nother live stream on this. Big salute to the chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to do a whole nother live stream directly on this. It's nothing we can do to save y'all. If white people, after all of the slavery, after, 444, you see that, Stacy Galore, you already know what time it is. I saw that 333. I saw 333 when you put it in the chat. I saw that in 444. Divine. The matrix is glitching and it's right in front of your face. I'm going to leave y'all with this before I get back to Fat Joe and I close out this live stream. After all of the redlining, after all of the lynching, after all of the rape, after all of the things that Caucasian ancestors did to my ancestors, slavery, right? Burning down our cities, burning down our communities. I mean, I could go down the list of the carnage that we went through on American soil. If the children of these ancestors was smart enough to make it right with black people, to even out the playing field. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is reparations. If they were smart enough to put their pride aside, put their greed aside, put their hate and their jealousy and envy to the side and say, you know what? We have to fix the foundation of America. Foundational black Americans are the foundation of America. If they were smart enough to fix that situation, they wouldn't be paying for the sins. The reason why they have to pay for the sins of their ancestors is because they still wallow, they still gain, they still prosper, they still achieve things off the backs of what those white men did back in those days. So let's just say they say, you know what, we're gonna pay y'all out. We're gonna pay you guys. We're gonna give every black American $10 million. Fuck it, give them the money. That would be the first step to fixing, to reversing the karma that you have, reversing the karma. Because regardless if y'all give us reparations, regardless if y'all fix the situation, we gonna make a way. Yeah, I'm living better than half. Listen, majority of white people that you know, my house is bigger than theirs. I got a pool in my backyard. My kids live, we fought for this. But since y'all have so much pride, since y'all have so much hate and envy and jealousy in your heart for the foundation of America, we cannot save you. China is going to, listen, man, you think you're not going to pay for that bomb, that Hiroshima shit? Oh, y'all thought that your grandfather and your uncles and your aunties dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, killed a whole bunch of innocent people, children, babies, women, elderly people, all passed away when y'all dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Then y'all turn around and teach us about this shit in school as children. Y'all think y'all ain't gonna pay for that? And the very people that could save y'all, you looking at them. The very people that can save y'all, y'all say we ain't got no culture. The very people. So I'm here to tell you, your time is running out. If you don't know, I'm telling you, Caucasian people know what's happening. They feel it. They know their time is running out. They having more babies with black people trying to save their children with the melanin. They trying to save their babies with the melanin. But I don't want the dog fur. I wouldn't give you dog fur ass. I wouldn't give you a drop of this melanin. Yeah, I don't want the dog fur around me. Yes, can't. Yeah, can't. Your grandma was doing stuff. Your mama was doing stuff. I wouldn't give your ass a drop of the melanin. You can't get no melanin. But a lot of, Travis Hunter. You think these women is just with these men for no reason, for the money? You think it's just about money? They need the melanin. You know what's worth more than money? Time and energy and melanin. This shit right here is worth ain't a dollar bill. It ain't a dollar bill on earth that could replace this right here. But what I'm here to tell you is that ain't even gonna save you. We can't save you unless you fix your right. You right your wrongs, then maybe we can help you. But until then, we got to stand back and let y'all, it's happening right before your eyes. And I'm going to say this. My next live stream is going to be directly about that. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to do a whole nother video regarding these drones. And we're going to get deep into that because, these drones ain't just popping up out of nowhere. These drones ain't just, it ain't what it seems, homie. These drones are strategic moves by China. Yeah. Big salute to the chat. Oh man, pure A1 content, baby. We don't have to sugarcoat this game. We don't have to sugarcoat this, man. We give you this dope straight off the brick into the bottles. Pure dope. Fat Joe, man. It ain't no way in hell I'ma let a knock-kneed Puerto Rican tell me nothing about the culture. I'ma let a knock-kneed Puerto Rican that stole from his homie, that robbed his family, that had his wife and his kids in a shelter. You crazy. Mad Hoffa. You laid down. You don't ever trust a man that knocked the boots of a bulldog. I don't care if she got a pussycat down there. I don't care if she's still a woman. He's not pulling the panties to the side. Mad Hoffa's pulling Calvin Klein briefs to the side. Never trust a man that'll hit a Javante Tank Davis misfit. Misfit was built like Javante Tank Davis. Never trust a man that sneaks out on his wife, that sneaks out on his girlfriend to go hit a bulldog. I never trust a man that'll do that. Man, Hoffa spent a lot of time in Atlanta. That's how we get down. Those type of dudes, they got pretty girlfriends. They got pretty wives. And they sneak out at night. And they knock boots with them Timberlands. They knock boots, they knock boots with the men. Mad Hoffa's liable to knock boots with man. That's why he's in that's why he got 1 million subscribers. Mad Hoffa was at the BET parties and all that. I'm gonna go, Math, I ain't done with you, Math. I ain't done with you. Math, allegedly, I ain't gonna say Math because you gotta be careful with this dude. He'll call the federales on you. So let me be careful. It's men out there. Men. It's just random men. They beat on their wife because secretly they want to lay down with a misfit Javante Tank Davis. They want to lay down with a bulldog. They want to lay down with a woman that look like a man. And then after they lay down with the woman that look like a man, they go and they deal with the actual man. And that's what Mav Hoffa is. And you got a Mav Hoffa having conversations with a knock-kneed Puerto Rican about FBA culture. And I ain't gonna stand for it. You got New Yorkers that think New York was just New York before New York was New York, not understanding that us country boys built New York. We brought the Harlem Renaissance to New York. You thought New York was just New York before New York was New York. You thought Brooklyn, nah, y'all was being railroaded by the Irish gangsters. Top hat, dog fur. I'm talking gangsters with top hats. Listen to me, man. I ain't lying to you. I ain't lying to you. This was New York before we came and put the culture in New York. It was a gang of top hats with dog fur running down on you boys. Never trust a man that'll lay down with a Javante Tank Davis. Never trust a knock-kneed Puerto Rican. Never. If your knees is, I don't trust Rick Ross. When Rick Ross, Shannon Sharp, these grown-ass men with the knock knees, I don't trust them. Boss man, what's up, boy? What's up, good? Yeah. If a man got knock knees, don't trust him. New York, yeah. Big salute to the chat, man. Listen, man. You know, we gonna go live again. We gonna definitely talk about a few other things. You know, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button. Make sure you tapped into the Realest channel on YouTube. You can't miss this. Ain't no other channel like this. Pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Stacy Galore, appreciate that 5-piece nugget. You already know how we giving it up over here. Highly appreciate that. 623 people still in the chat, and I ain't got no panel, homie. I don't do the extras and the preservatives. I don't use the quinine and all that. Straight dope. Direct to consumer. From me to the phone, directly to you. That's how we give it up over here at Grown Man Business TV. Fat Joe, don't speak on black culture again. Don't speak on black culture. Get your Goya, get your quesadillas and your tortillas and roll them up. Huh? Get your red beans and rice. Do that, man. Go to your bodegas and all that. Before you do any of that, give Big Pun family the money you stole from them. Give Big Pun wife the money that you stole from them. Knock-knee Puerto Rican. You a knock-knee Puerto Rican. And listen to me. A Cuban link, I'm going to reach out to you, homie. I want to have a conversation. I want to talk to the real. I don't want to listen to the fake anymore. Real 757 Virginia. This is Norfolk, Virginia at its finest. So listen, man, you already know what time it is. 600 people still in the chat. Listen, man, we running numbers up. We ain't stopping. I know. You can't get this nowhere else. But this is grown man business. This is grown man business. So I got some family. I got baby boy. I got wife. I got the people here. Listen, man, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? Now, listen, man, you can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Listen, I suggest you tap into this grown man business. I suggest you tap into this grown man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoat nothing. We not dressing nothing up. I'm giving you this dope, this pure game, this pure information. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight raw, my G. Raw. And I don't say pause. I'm a grown-ass man. I ain't gotta say pause. I'm gonna give it to you raw, man. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. Big salute to Norfolk, VA. Big salute to Richmond. I see y'all in the chat. I see the city in the chat. When it come to YouTube, when it come to independent content creating, I'm the face of that. It ain't nobody from the city doing it bigger than Grown Man Business TV. Hampton, I see you in here. I see you in here. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be, man. Pure dope. So listen, man. You know, you just getting into the chat. Make sure you hit that little red button right there. Pull it back. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. And Fat Joe, man, we ain't done with you. Busta Rhymes, all of you tethers, we ain't done with you. This is FBA. This is Grown Man Business TV. This is foundational Black Americans talking directly to you. I don't want the dog fur on me. You couldn't get a drop of melanin. I wouldn't give you an ounce of, I wouldn't give you nothing. You couldn't get a drop of melanin out of me. I'm not going to give you, listen, man. If you're white, you're white. You can't get the melanin from me. Big salute to the chat, man. You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest